Welcome to another episode of Hazard Time News, where I'm going to be talking about the latest in movie news and video game news and TV show news. Now, this has been a pretty big week actually for movie news. There was a lot to talk about, so it's mostly going to be a focus on movie news and particularly trailers. I'll start off with one of the biggest trailers. Well, not one of the biggest, one of the first trailers released this week, and that was a second trailer for Captain Marvel, which I don't know. I thought looks okay. I mean, I don't like the look of that helmet she has. I think that looks kind of silly. I mean, I feel like we realized a long time ago that helmets don't really work in superhero movies. That's why we've kind of gone away from them. I mean, Wolverine never wore the helmet. Captain America recently stopped wearing the helmet. And I don't know. I just feel like we've decided that they don't work too much. And I mean, even Spider-Man, who's always wearing his mask, he's always finding a reason to take it off. So I don't know. But it looks okay. I mean, honestly, if I didn't feel obliged to watch it, I probably wouldn't watch it. Next, the big trailer of the week, I suppose, is, it's going to be the trailer for Avengers 4, which they announced the title is Avengers Endgame. Which, first things first, they were totally lying to us when they said that the title of the movie isn't set in Infinity War. I don't know why they had to say that. I mean, were they just trying to dupe us? Just trying to pull like a small little dupe on us? I don't really understand. I think the release date got pushed forward a little bit. Well, pushed forward. I guess that's the right way to say it. But I suppose it's coming out earlier than we had anticipated, which is the same thing they did for Infinity War. I think it's probably just another case of them wanting the international release to match up with the United States release. Because I know that's one of the reasons they did it in Infinity War. The international release was a couple weeks earlier than the release in the United States, and they didn't want spoilers getting out, so they released them at the same time. I assume that Avengers Endgame is again going to be another spoiler-heavy movie, so that might be the same case. I didn't actually look to see what the new release date was versus what the old one was. It was just something I saw in passing. But onto the trailer. The trailer looked pretty good. This is the first trailer, so we really didn't get much, and you can tell because there's no. I mean, I wouldn't say no because I don't know the production of the movie, but it doesn't seem like there's any CGI in this trailer, so that's kind of indicative of where they are in the movie. They're probably working on CGI right now. I mean, you don't see the Hulk. You don't see the Hulk. You don't see Thanos. You don't see any of these CGI characters or them doing CGI things. I mean, you could honestly sum it up to maybe 3 or 4 scenes. A lot of the trailer centers around Captain America and Black Widow. We see a little bit of Tony Stark in the beginning. His current situation's not looking too good for him here, but I feel like that's going to be resolved by the previously mentioned character in a Captain Marvel. I feel like she's gonna fly in and rescue them and bring them back to Earth. That's probably how she's gonna come into the story, or they'll just like land on Earth. I don't know. And then it's mostly Captain America and Black Widow. There's a shot of the Hulk. He doesn't say anything. Shot of Thor. He doesn't say anything. Shot of Nebula. She doesn't say anything. There's a brief shot of Thanos. It's not a shot of him. You don't like see him or anything. You see his arm and the destroyed gauntlet, and it's just setting up that it's that farmer Thanos that you see sometimes in comics. And Hawkeye. I guess they really decided to make sure and go heavy with Hawkeye in the first trailer. Like, get it out there. Like, yes, he's in this movie. Because I feel like they were a little deceptive with Hawkeye, whether or not he was in Infinity War. And I think that might have rubbed some people the wrong way, me included, kind of, because they kind of made it seem like Hawkeye was going to be in Infinity War. You know, Jeremy Renner was showing up to press interviews and stuff, and he was in the cast list until, you know, like the day it was released, when everyone realized he wasn't in it, so they took him off IMDb and Wikipedia. So this is like, yes, Hawkeye is going to be in this movie, and he's going to have somewhat of a big part, I feel like. And of course, the end scene with Ant-Man. We also see Ant-Man is going to have a big part. So from what we can kind of tell, is things aren't going to be looking too good for these heroes early on in the movie, and then Captain Marvel and Ant-Man and Hawkeye, and they'll show up, and they'll be instrumental in kind of kicking things off again anew. Probably lesser so Hawkeye. I feel like he's not going to have a lot to do, because there's only so much that he can do, but what he does is going to be very crucial to the story in a way, in his own special way. He's going to be important to the story, because it was one of the things they mentioned, how characters who didn't get much screen time in Infinity War are going to get more focus in Endgame. And, you know, again, that's particularly Captain America, Black Widow. They were kind of the original Avengers, they were kind of left to the sidelines for Infinity War. So it makes sense they're beefing them up a little bit too, more. Maybe even Nebula. They might be giving Nebula a little bit more now too, now that she's got her storyline with Tony Stark. That's one of the things I want to see in the next trailer, particularly see a little bit of them interacting, what that's going to be like. Because that's Tony Stark and Nebula, that's interactions I didn't realize that I wanted, but now I realize the potential of what that could be. I think that's going to be very interesting. And I see people saying about this trailer confirms that there's no time jump between Endgame and Infinity War. I don't think that's true. I think, you know, the first 10 minutes or so of Endgame will take place after Infinity War, to just kind of get these characters all in the same place, all together, and then they're gonna have, okay, this is our plan, this is what we gotta do, and then there'll be a 10-year time jump or whatever, where they were working on that plan for 10 years, and then now it's over, now it's ready, because there was that Gwyneth Paltrow thing talking about how they have a kid now, and there's the 13 Reasons Why girl, she's been cast in this movie. Some people think that maybe she's Tony Stark's kid, and how that could play into time travel, stuff like that. I don't know, but yeah, there's not much to this trailer. I don't think it confirms or denies any of our theories or speculations. One thing that was interesting that some people noticed is the shot with Bruce Banner. He's looking at screens, and there's the screen, and it's one screen is Scott Lang, who they assume got dusted, and another frame is Shuri, which turns to Peter Parker. So that's confirming that she either got turned to dust, or they assume she got turned to dust and something else happened to her. We don't know more than that. I guess that might explain some of the rumors that M'Baku is king of Wakanda now instead of Shuri being queen, which seems possible, I suppose. But enough of that. I've already spent way too long on that. Let's move on to Bond 25, or the Spectre sequel, the fifth James Bond movie with Daniel Craig in it. Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Skyfall, Spectre, yes. They had confirmed that some people will be returning alongside Daniel Craig. Leah Seydoux, I don't know if I pronounced that right, Ray Fiennes, Naomi Harris, Ben Winshaw. These British people need to simplify their last names. I don't know if I'm pronouncing any of them right. But that's all nice to see. Q, M, Miss Moneypepper, Dr. whatever her name was, Inspector. it's nice that they're coming back. It's nice to keep this continuity going a little bit more. It's seeming that this might be the end of the story here, the last Bond with Daniel Craig, but I feel like we've been saying that since Skyfall, so who the hell knows? They make money. Daniel Craig wants to make money. I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back for another one. The only people, the only major, somewhat cast members that haven't been announced to come back yet are Rory Kinnear, who plays Bill Tanner. I always liked him. He was just kind of just this minor background agent, like Coulson from Avengers in a way. And they haven't said anything about Christoph Waltz coming back as Blofeld, although he doesn't have to be in it. He's not a big staple of Daniel Craig's story. I would be completely fine if they brought back a new villain. Although, what is interesting is that there were rumors going around that Q and Blofeld weren't going to be in the movie, and then the director said, like, no, those rumors aren't true, we haven't decided on that yet, and then it was announced that Q is going to come back, so we don't know. Maybe that was already confirmed at the time, and he didn't want to confirm it yet, And we got some Oscar news. Apparently, Kevin Hart is going to be hosting the Oscars, which I don't watch the Oscars. That seems like a fine choice to me. I'm sure he'll do a good job. Not that I really care. We got more Oscar news, and the fact that Kevin Hart is not going to be hosting the Oscars. Apparently, like 7 years ago, he said some homophobic shit on Twitter, and they're like, nope. So he's not hosting the Oscars anymore. Like I said, I don't watch the Oscars. I don't care. Something I did watch was Lego Batman, and apparently they are going to be making a Lego Batman 2. I talked a lot about that movie. Did like a 14-minute movie review that no one saw. I liked the movie a lot, and I'm looking forward to this. Also, DC is supposedly making a Plastic Man movie. I don't know much about this character besides that he's like psychotic, kind of crazy, and that could be interesting. An interesting little twist to take on a superhero movie that we haven't seen before, so sure. Marvel announced they're making a Shang-Chi movie with some Asian superhero that I haven't heard about, and not many people have heard about, I hear. But yeah, they're making him. I can see this very much being like a Black Panther situation. You know, what Black Panther did for the African American community, first African American superhero, whatnot, all that jazz. I could see that being the same thing for Shang-Chi and the Asian community, so it's interesting. I'm putting it down maybe 2020. 2020, does that seem too early? Maybe 2021. I think that's when I'm gonna figure that comes out. Who knows? We'll see. There wasn't a lot of TV news. Not much worth mentioning. I mean, Jodie Whittaker said, yeah, she'll be coming back for Doctor Who season 12. Sure, I would kind of been surprised if she didn't come back. I think they kind of need to set that up with the regeneration storyline, and I don't think they did that or are going to do that. So, sure. Something interesting is Tara Reid is suing Sharknado for like $100 million or whatever. That kind of seems like biting the hand that feeds you, because I'm pretty sure all she does nowadays is Sharknado movies and occasionally voicing Harley Quinn in some animated stuff. So I don't know. We'll see if this works out for her or not. And on to video game news, because it wasn't a lot for TV, and there's not much for video game news either. Something that is interesting, if you're a fan of the Fallout franchise and you want to play a good Fallout game, and I think I have the answer for you. I think it might be The Other Worlds, which isn't actually, no, not The Other Worlds, The Outer Worlds. Or maybe it is The Other Worlds. I don't know. It says The Outer Worlds on my little script here thing, so I'm going to guess it's The Outer Worlds. But this is a RPG space game set to be released in 2019 by Obsidian, the people who made the original Fallout and made Fallout New Vegas. Fallout New Vegas being considered one of the best Fallout games ever. So, I mean, I saw the trailer. It looks pretty good. It looks kind of funny. Maybe looks a little too Borderlands-esque. I don't know. This is probably a game I will be checking out. I probably will get this game. I probably won't get it at release. With big games like this, I like to wait a little bit for some bugs to get fixed. So I'll probably wait a little bit to get the release of this game. But it looks like this could be pretty good, if I'm going to be honest. And yeah. I think that's going to be it for this news video thing. There was a lot to talk about, a lot to discuss. I'm not going to be putting up a New Vegas commentary today, just because there was a lot to dissect with this, and I was running a little short on time today. So I will see you guys next week.